Hi everyone, Rich Crescenti here with another in our series of videos making music with Melodyne. And today what we're going to be focusing on is getting sounds to sit right within a mix. This is one of the hardest things about being a mix engineer. I know many of you out there are professional mix engineers or hobbyists, or maybe you're just mixing your own music, but that is the universal struggle, is to get things to sit properly where you want in the mix. We have a lot of tools to help us with that. We have compressors and limiters, equalizers, time-based effects like reverbs and delays. But Melodyne has a few tips and tricks that you can use in here that give you another set of tools that sound a little different and can help when some of the other ones aren't getting you what you want. Okay, so let's dive in and take a look right here. First thing we've got is a track today called Jet Lag from a band out of Brooklyn called Colatura, one of my favorite bands. Let's give this a listen. And what you're looking for here is the acoustic guitar on the left side. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. So here's the track. Okay, great. And let's hear that guitar on its own. Nice. Now, here in part one of this video, I'm going to point out that everything that we're going to be doing can be done in Melodyne Assistant or in Melodyne Editor. In part two of this video, we'll be focusing on some things that can only be done in Melodyne Studio. Okay, so some of the techniques I want to show you today require us to kind of zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to zoom in, and this is because they're based around the length of the note. So I'm going to kind of find some of these shortest notes right here, right? And here's our general problem, is that I can experiment with the level of this guitar. And if I bring it up higher than it is right now, I'm going to get a little more body, but then that pick attack is going to be too strong, coming through too much. If I bring it down, I'm going to get the body is going to disappear, and we're only going to be left with the pick attack. Let's experiment with that for a minute. Give this a listen. Okay, I've got this where I want based around the body of the guitar, the note, the tone, and that's because I'm going to use some of these tips in Melodyne here to control the attack of it. So in this case, I'm setting the level based around the tone where I want, and then I'm going to use Melodyne to control the attack. First tool I'm going to use is my time attack speed tool. If you right click and go to the context menu, you'll see the attack speed tool right here. And you'll notice how these blobs look a little different right now. This is the attack speed. This more or less controls how quickly each one of these blobs reaches its initial peak amplitude, right? So by dragging it down, we take a little bit longer to get into that attack. By dragging it up, we get there a little faster. Some sources this works better on than others. Some sources you have a greater window than others. But let's give this a listen, and I'm going to show you what happens as I pull this attack speed down. Let's try with this soloed first. Now you'll notice we can pull that too far. And by the way, I have all the notes selected right here. If you don't have that, you can just click anywhere on the screen and hit Command A. That selects all your notes. Let's bring this back up a little bit to something a little more reasonable. I like that, but it doesn't really matter how it sounds with just the soloed acoustic, because all that really matters is how it sounds in context. No one's going to hear it on its own. So here it is in context. Great, I like that a lot. I feel like now that that attack is sitting a little bit better. Let's do a quick A-B. I'll bypass this on and off and you can hear the difference. Watch this bypass button up here. I like that. I feel like that's sitting a little bit better in the mix right there. Really important with all your effects, bypass, right? On and off. Human beings are really good at determining the better of two rapidly switching states. So bypass with all your plugins is always your best friend. Okay, we've got the front of the note where we want it. Now I want to make sure the back of the note is where we want it as well. And here's why. Something changed a little bit. Let's zoom in and take a look right here. I want to show you something important. You'll notice there's a little bit of an overlap between these notes right here. And this is because we changed the attack speed. As I pull this attack speed down, the beginning of the note actually lengthens, right? As you bring it up, the note shortens a little bit. So since we've brought it down a little bit, now there's a little overlap and I don't want that. What I want is every single note to die out just before the next note hits. And that's going to give us a good punchy sound. So instead of cutting it off, what I'm going to do is right click and come over here to our fade tool. And with all the notes selected, I'm going to draw in a fade that cuts off just before the next note starts. This is another reason why we want to make sure we're checking the shortest notes right here. I'm going to solo this to show you how it sounds. Here we go. So if I click right here, I can draw in this a little bit of a fade and I'll shorten it a little bit. And now listen, because you'll see if we make this fade too big, we're going to lose all the body. Check this out. As you can see, it starts to get choppy right there, but let's find the sweet spot between too long and too short. I like that a lot, right? Each note dies away, the next note hits harder, but the attack still isn't going to be pushing through. All right, let's hear this original guitar. Here it is. All right, and here's what we've done so far. All right, I like that. Now, some of this could have been done with a transient designer, but it's going to sound a little different, and no dynamics processor that you have is going to get these fades exactly right at the end like that. Melodyne is kind of unique in this way, gives you a lot of power and flexibility. Okay, one last bonus tip that I want to show you is the Formant tool. Now, there's two ways to adjust it, right? First, you can come over here to your info pane and drag this Formant up or down. You can also right-click and come on your context menu and come over here to the Formant tool. This, we can drag this up or down as well. Now, the Formant is the unpitched portion of this sound. So by changing that pitch of that unpitched portion, right? This is really the attack. We can get that pick attack to sit up a little higher in the mix or a little bit lower and find the spot where it sounds best for this song. Let's experiment with that a little bit and see what we think. I like it a little bit lower right there, right? If we bring it up higher, it gets almost a 12-string kind of vibe to it. But when we bring it down a little bit lower right here, I feel like it clears out some space in the mix where it was sitting and just helps it blend a little bit more. I like this. Let's hear the original untouched guitar again. And let's hear what we've done with Melodyne to this guitar. I like that. I feel like it sits better in the mix right there. And the beauty is that you can use these tools to get any one of these sounds to fit where you want in the mix. Hope you enjoyed this today. Thanks.